G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Friday the 23rd of November 2018 and the time here is 10:46 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well folks, a couple of things to get me started. First off folks, let's do the sponsorship. This is totally awesome. Golden activated turmeric paste. As I said to you all, this stuff really does work. Be good if some people, I know a lot of you are actually buying it and are having great results with it. It would be very good if you could put some reviews on the review page for these guys. They're hard workers, guys. They do a lot of work out in the community. Here's where they are here on the bottom. Jan Powers Farmers Market, Queen Street, Brisbane. Palm Beach Currumbin Farmers Market at the PBC High School, if you know the area, on every Saturday 6 till 12, and the Bundle Farmers Market every Sunday from 6 till 12. So as you can see, they do the hard yards. Okay, look, there's been a few people saying things about Simon, who does my IT stuff. Folks, the IT stuff was nothing to do with Simon, and I can tell you that straight off the bat, so please don't think Simon had anything to do with it. I know where the guy lives. Why would he do anything to my computer? I'm using my own computer at the moment, and it got fried and he's never touched it. So this is the computer that I said I had to take back and reboot and everything else because there was such a massive virus on it. The other computer's just busted, I think. I'm not really sure, but maybe it got. Look, all of us, this includes me, have to understand that by doing this we're going to get targeted. It's as simple as that. You have to understand that I'm sticking my head above the parapet and it's getting knocked off. Yeah, it's costly. It's cost me a fair bit of dough. Like I said, 6 computers, or 7 actually if you count Simon's. So I've been through 7 computers. I think I've had about 4 or 5 mobiles that got hacked. One of them was a BlackBerry. I've still got it. It got hacked, destroyed. So these things, what can I do about it, folks, unless I start getting smarter? As I said, I still haven't got the VPN sorted out yet. That should be today. And I will not, and I repeat this, I'm not using that to do emails. Definitely not, because it's easily hackable. And I'm not doing any emails to anybody. So I've probably got a load of email. I'll have tons of emails at the moment. I'm not even going to go on it on my computer until I've got the VPN server address. So I hope you understand that, but I'm actually starting to get a bit more smarter and a bit stronger in my knowledge of what I'm up against. I'm doing this to protect all of us, not just me. If you are using Gmail, etc., then look, I don't use Gmail. It's just that I've just got my Gmail account now. I've actually completely stopped using it months ago. I would probably say to everyone, you need to go on Proton Mail because it's encrypted and it's based in Switzerland and the US can't get to it. They have to go through this long process to actually even try and get into your emails. Can they get into them? Probably. Who knows? That's why I'm not using it until I've got the VPN. Like I said, that should be set up today, stroke the weekend, and I will be 100% IT au fait, if that's the term. Okay, let's go to some relevant news at the moment. One thing I want to talk to you about today, or 2 things. Julian Assange, and all of us need to understand this and know what's going on with this. Julian Assange needs to be indicted by the US government. And you're going to go, wow, that's a big, pretty heavy. Nothing is going to happen to Julian Assange. But they need to indict Julian Assange so that he can actually sit in front of a full grand jury and present all the information. That's what the deep state's dead set shit scared of, folks. Because if he presents all the information, because don't forget, he doesn't have to bring the information to Congress, and he can't really process it in that environment because it'll get shut down. So he needs to go to the grand jury and present all of the information to the Department of Justice and to the IG. What's his name? Can't remember now. So we should all hope that they do actually indict Julian Assange. It doesn't mean that he's going to go to jail, but they need to get him to America. The only way they can get him to America is to actually indict him. So this would all have been organised months ago. Now, if you're paying attention to what's happening at the moment with all this Pfizer stuff, and you should be outraged as an Australian, because what they're doing with this Pfizer stuff, or what happened between the Australian government and the UK government to the American government, was nothing short of treasonous. If you're paying attention, this character here, this Alexander Downer, the noose is tightening every single day. Now, I would expect in the next couple of weeks, probably before the new year, Alexander Downer is going to be indicted by the US government. And I would probably believe that Malcolm Turnbull was also indicted, hence the reason why he left the Parliament. You may laugh this off, but have a look at who went with him, Julie Bishop. Now, Alexander Downer would not have done this on his own. And the Australian government would not do this on their own. So you have the scenario where a seed was planted by the US government to the US government to incorporate the Australian team into it. You're following me so far? Do you realise how bad that is? Our government, the Australian government, led by Malcolm Turnbull and Julie Bishop, coordinated with the UK government to bring down the US government. I'm going to say that again just in case you didn't get it. The Australian government colluded with the UK government to bring down a duly elected US government, i.e. Donald Trump. Now, Downer was, the pea in the pod, so to speak, but he was the one that initiated this. Now, there's a lot going on in Australia, as you know, but it would appear that the Australian government, except for possibly, and I'll explain this to you, the Australian Secret Service may not have known about this either. So you had like 4 or 5 people in the Australian government: Malcolm Turnbull, Julie Bishop, Alexander Downer, George Brandis, who is now the UK High Commissioner, and maybe another, did this off their own bat and kept it secret. This is becoming more and more prevalent. Now, go back a bit, and you remember James Clapper came to Australia. Well, that was the start of the process to get the Australians involved. I don't believe the Australian Secret Service was involved, but it's interesting to note that there's been some high-level changes at the Australian Secret Service lately. So folks, this is really serious. Like, this is about the most serious thing that has ever happened in Australia. We actually have our Australian government directly involved with another foreign government, the UK government, to bring down a duly elected foreign government politician, i.e. the President of the United States. There's no disputing that. So please get this video out there, because there's people walking around at the moment that aren't even aware of what's coming. And this is going to be monumentally huge. I would say to you all, if you haven't seen Stroppy Me's videos about this at the moment, he did an excellent one yesterday with the text of George Papadopoulos. Follow the text of George Papadopoulos and you'll understand that this was one huge setup by the Australian and UK governments, working with the US government under Obama. It's dead set the most serious thing that's ever happened in this country, folks. It's really bad. Okay, I'll leave it there. Okay, folks, here's the verse of the day. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace, and be thankful. Wow, that's pretty good, isn't it? I'll read it again. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace, and be thankful. Beautiful. And as always, folks, we'll end with the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Sorry, folks, I'll start that again. The dog's had a fight. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, folks, I'll leave it there. It's good to be back. Sorry about the sound. We're still struggling with the recording microphone at the moment, but we'll get it fixed. It's just another brick in the wall sort of thing. Look, you need to pay attention to what's going on with this parliamentary thing, because this is when this goes, it's going to go quick, and people are going to be standing around going, what? Are you serious? And of course they're going to do everything they can to make sure the mainstream media, lamestream media, is going to make sure that they counteract this with you're going to see some stuff in the next couple of weeks about Downer and all this sort of stuff. It's all lies, etc., etc., to program the people into thinking that this didn't really happen. But I would bet that Alexander Downer is going to get indicted by the US government very soon. That's how serious this is. Wouldn't be surprised if there's paperwork sitting there right now for him. And Malcolm Turnbull and Julie Bishop. Wonder if they get to keep their pensions. Anyway, folks, God bless. Prep out.